Welcome to your deep dive. Today, today we're really diving into how Google's making texting safer.
Mm,
Everyone's talking about self-driving cars and all that, but Google's taking on spam and scams
right.
straight up in Google Messages.
Which is huge. I mean, you're talking over 1 billion users globally.
Yeah.
It's like they're running cybersecurity for a small country,
Right,
but like all within a messaging app.
exactly. And we've got your research and, of course, Google's announcement right here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive right in.
Let's do it.
First off, Google says right out the gate that they're already blocking 2 billion with a B suspicious messages every single month.
Yeah.
That is insane. Is this like a sign that things are getting worse
Yeah.
or just that they're getting better at catching these things?
It's probably a little bit of both, to be honest.
Okay.
Scammers are definitely getting more sophisticated in their methods,
Sure.
but at the same time, the tools that we have to fight back are also evolving. I think what's really interesting here is Google's overall approach with these new features.
Yeah.
They're really kind of going all in on this idea of proactive protection. It's using on-device AI
Right.
to basically stop these threats before you even see them.
Wow. So it's like having like a bodyguard
Yeah,
for your inbox.
pretty much.
But on-device AI,
yeah,
that's important for privacy.
right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the analysis and everything is happening on your phone.
Okay.
It's not going to some, Google server somewhere.
Right.
So your data stays yours, which I think is like super crucial when we're talking about something as personal as text messages, right?
Definitely. Okay, so we're not sacrificing our privacy for better security here.
Exactly.
That's good. That's a relief.
Yeah.
But what kind of threats are we actually talking about here?
I mean, they're really going after those, those really sneaky scams that have become so prevalent these days,
Yeah.
right? We've all seen this like fake package delivery notifications.
Oh, yeah?
The job offers that sound way too good to be true.
For sure.
You've won a prize, and it's like, ooh, and then they click the link, and it's phishing.
Ugh. Don't even get me started on those fake package things.
Oh, yeah.
I swear I got like 3 of those last month. And it's like, almost like they know when you're expecting a delivery.
It's like, how do they...
It's so creepy.
It is, and that's the thing they often do.
Really?
Yeah, they use all sorts of data and information.
Wow.
These scammers are getting increasingly clever with their tactics, but this new AI
Yeah.
is at least designed to try to spot those patterns,
Right.
and red flag them
Okay.
before you even have a chance to like fall victim.
So it's like a super-powered spam filter
Yes.
that actually understands what the message is saying.
Exactly. It's not just looking for keywords anymore. It's
Oh.
like actually trying to understand the context
Right.
of the entire message.
Mhm.
And because all of this is happening on your device, it can even start to adapt to your own personal communication patterns
Oh, wow.
and get smarter over time.
Okay, that's seriously impressive.
Yeah,
But it's not just about the messages themselves, right?
Or
It's
the-
also those links that people stick in there.
exactly. They're tackling those shady links too.
Yeah.
And this is actually where I think some of the most interesting stuff is happening.
Okay.
Even before this announcement, they were already starting to roll out some really cool features.
You mean like that thing they're testing in a few countries where Google Messages like warns you
Yes.
before you click a link?
Precisely. So they've been running these pilot programs in a few places. India, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore.
Okay.
And the initial results are actually really promising.
Oh, wow.
Basically, Google Messages will now analyze links
Right.
from unknown senders or, senders that have been flagged as suspicious in the past. And it'll give you like a little heads up
Yeah.
before you actually click on anything.
It's like having that friend that always says, think before you click,
Exactly.
but like built into the app.
Built right in. And the best part is it actually seems to be working.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've seen a significant reduction in people actually clicking on malicious links
Wow.
in those pilot countries,
That's great.
which is a huge win for security.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised they haven't like rolled that out everywhere yet.
Yeah.
It seems so simple.
Well, they want to make sure it's actually effective
Mhm.
before they just unleash it on the entire world.
That's fair.
But I think based on what we're seeing, it's really only a matter of time.
Right.
And speaking of global threats,
Right.
they're also taking aim at international spam.
Oh, those random texts from like country codes I've never even heard of.
Yes.
Tell me they're actually figuring out how to deal with those.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're actually piloting a feature right now in Singapore
Okay.
where it'll automatically like filter out messages from numbers that are international numbers that you don't know.
Okay.
So it's like a spam shield
Right.
specifically for that stuff.
That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
I could see that being really helpful.
Yeah.
Especially as like more and more of this stuff originates overseas anyway.
Right. And it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, for sure. But what about those times when you do know the sender,
Okay.
but the content of the message is
Yes.
a little spicy?
Yeah, like that sensitive content warnings feature
Yes, exactly.
that they're rolling out.
Like, is Google trying to be our etiquette coach now?
A little bit.
But how does that even work? Are they like scanning all my photos?
So it actually all happens locally on your device.
Okay.
Google doesn't see any of it.
Okay, good.
But basically, they've trained this AI on tons of data
Right.
to recognize what might be a sensitive image.
So like nudity and things like that.
Exactly. So like, let's say someone accidentally sends you a photo
Right.
with a little too much skin showing. Instead of it just like popping up right there in your messages,
Yeah.
the AI will blur it out and give you a little warning.
Okay.
It'll be like, hey, this might be sensitive. Do you actually want to view this?
I see.
So you have total control.
So it's not censoring anything. It's more like a courtesy.
Exactly. It's a heads up.
Right. Like are you sure?
Yes, exactly. And they're even testing out like warnings for the sender
Oh, wow.
before they hit send,
Really?
which I think is a really cool idea.
That's awesome. Like a little, are you sure you want to send that?
Yes, because you know those moments where you're like, oh my God, I can't unsee that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially in like group chats and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Some of the things I've seen.
Right.
But, okay, so all of that is great. But this next feature we're going to talk about, this one's big.
Yeah, this one's really interesting.
This is like next level stuff.
This is a potential game changer.
We're talking about verifying contacts. Right?
Yes, verifying contacts.
Mm.
And this has the potential to really shake things up.
Yeah.
When it comes to online security as a whole,
Yeah.
not just for messaging, but I mean, imagine
Yeah.
knowing for sure
Right.
that the person you're texting is actually who they say they are.
Oh my gosh, yes. Especially with all the phishing and scams and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how do you actually do that digitally?
So it comes down to something called public keys.
Okay.
You can think of it kind of like a digital fingerprint that's unique to you.
Right.
And what Google is doing is they're creating this system where you can actually verify these keys.
Okay.
Probably through something like scanning a QR code.
I see.
Or maybe comparing phone numbers or something like that.
Okay. Walk me through like a real world example here.
Sure.
Let's say I get a text from someone saying they're my bank.
Okay.
How does this help me?
So you get this text, it looks all official, right?
Yeah.
But you're rightfully suspicious.
Right. Exactly.
So with this new feature, you would be able to request verification from them.
Okay.
Your banking app would then have a way to display their public key.
Gotcha.
And you could compare that
To the one they sent.
to the one in the text message.
And if they match.
If they match, you're good to go.
Okay.
You can breathe a sigh of relief. It's actually your bank.
That's amazing.
But if they don't match,
Oh.
that's a huge red flag
Yeah.
that you might be dealing with a scammer.
That is so smart. It's like a lie detector.
Exactly.
But for your messages.
Right.
No more guessing.
Exactly.
Okay, that is awesome. But it's not just texting though, right?
Right. This technology could be applied to so many different things.
Oh, yeah.
Email, social media, online shopping. I mean, you name it.
Wow.
Anywhere where you need to verify someone's identity online,
This could be huge.
it really could.
This is like trusting who you're dealing with.
Exactly.
Which is something we have to do more and more in the digital world.
All the time. And it goes beyond just, individual users like us.
Okay.
Businesses, organizations, governments, they could all use this to verify their communications, reduce fraud, increase trust with their customers.
This is really exciting stuff.
It is.
I'm on board. But okay, let's talk timelines here.
Sure.
When can we actually expect to see this?
So they're aiming to launch sometime next year
Okay.
for devices running Android 9 or above,
Okay.
which, most devices are at this point.
Yeah. That's a pretty good chunk of them.
And the really cool thing is they're building this as like a unified system.
Okay.
So it won't just be limited to Google Messages.
Wait, are you saying other messaging apps could use this?
That's the idea. They're really pushing for this to become an industry standard,
Wow.
which would be huge for online security.
I mean, that would be amazing.
Right.
A world where you actually know for sure
Yeah.
that you're talking to your bank
Right.
and not some like scammer
Yeah.
in their basement halfway across the world.
Exactly.
That's a level of trust we just don't have online right now.
It's huge, and it really highlights how Google's kind of like thinking long term here, right?
Yeah.
This isn't just about, making Google Messages a little bit safer.
Right.
This is about laying the groundwork for a more trustworthy digital future.
Exactly. And that's a pretty big deal coming from a company that literally deals in data every single day.
Right. It really does show that they're taking privacy and security seriously,
Yeah.
especially as our digital lives are becoming, more and more intertwined.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so we've covered a lot today.
We have.
I mean, we've talked about AI taking on scams. We've got shady link detectors, international spam blockers, sensitive content alerts,
It's a lot.
even digital fingerprints for messages.
Yeah, it's like a whole suite of tools.
What really gets me is how much of this stuff's happening, like, behind the scenes.
Right.
Like, we don't even see it.
Exactly, and that's kind of how it should be.
Right.
It's like they're building this digital immune system for our messages and for our devices.
And most of us will never even know it's there.
Hopefully not.
But we'll all be safer for it.
Exactly. We'll just benefit from, safer, more trustworthy communication.
Which at the end of the day is really what we all want, right?
Exactly.
But knowing what we know now,
it
really makes you think about what's next.
Yeah, where do we go from here?
Right. If Google's already doing all this with messaging, what else can they do?
It's like the tip of the iceberg in terms of using AI and this kind of technology to really, improve our lives.
That's exciting. So yeah, next time you get a text that seems a little too good to be true.
Yeah, or you hesitate before you click a link.
Remember this conversation, folks.
Yes.
There's a lot going on
A lot of tech.
behind the scenes to keep you safe.
Working hard.
Absolutely. This has been your deep dive
Deep dive.
into the future of safe messaging.